Amanda.
I'm Ben.
We're AutoSave. Welcome to our channel.
You're watching Solo Leveling Season 1, Episode 12. The real job change quest begins now. It's not looking good, but you know what? He's earned it. Jinwoo's earned my trust.
I have faith. I also am hoping to see what the ruler's hand skill is, possibly. Can we please see what it is?
Jinwoo, go kill. Ready?
Yes.
Sweet. Who needs a teleportation stone?
Good. I didn't want you to give up.
Oh my god. 632 HP. Oh, look at his knuckles! Oh! Wow.
More than enough.
Oh my god.
It reminds me of our first instance dungeon where we're like, oh, maybe I was traumatized too.
Do you think we're gonna check in at Jeju Island at all?
I really hope so. I feel like we will. The only issue with checking in with Jeju Island is it feels like so heavy.
Yeah.
It feels like it needs a lot of content. But this is just the reconnaissance mission. He wasn't there.
Oh my god.
Would the system save you? It wants you for something. It wants you strong.
I cannot believe it. Oh my god.
I'm gonna freak out.
I will never question you about anything in our entire lives again.
Thank goodness. Maybe we should use that as a cheat sheet. Like, never do the daily quests.
I mean, but what if it was going well, you know?
We can use that now. Oh. Oh, look at the color.
Food's still there.
Oh, I hope he can. The worst thing would be starting to let down your family. Night killer.
We love a dagger, don't we?
Yeah, we do. Armor type! Yes.
Yes! Physically manipulate objects without touching them.
Doesn't need mana.
Oh!
So brings it to the ruler's hand. Yet.
Wow. I feel so stupid for not thinking about that.
It takes us back in there. That's crazy.
産地ジェジュ島レイドの時、私はハンターではありませんでしたが、代表の気持ちは理解できます。
そう言ってもらえると助かります。チェ代表、会場に微量のマナ反応を検知。
Ooh, from the water?
これは
Of course it would.
いくら倒しても手応えがない。レベルアップする気配すらない。それに魔法使いは何をしている。
We have to go for the mage.
Are they like illusions?
Ooh.
Summoning magic.
We defeat the mage, we end the reinforcements.
Oh! Able to recall it.
5 more. What a nice countdown.
Jesus!
Bringing it to him.
Not too heavy. An armor golem.
Yes!
Woo!
Proper use of the battlefield.
Honestly. There's a fucking chandelier. Oh, what a shot!
Fewer targets.
Woo!
All 3 at once?
Oh my god!
Wow. It turns back into all the
Oh.
pieces.
So cool. I love the sword sticking out of its back.
So what do we get? Analysis. Necromancer.
待て待て、シノンの能力値はほとんど上げてこなかったじゃないか。モンスターといえばアンデッド系のモンスターを召喚して刺激する魔法系の職業。
I love it. I love it.
暗殺系、戦闘スタイルも接近戦。
It doesn't really fit.
だって筋力重視で上げてきてスキルだって放映色のネクロマンサーになってしまえばそれらも無駄になる。
What's it thinking?
はい、いいえ。
You can
You
reject
can
it.
reject it.
リターンが未知数すぎる。
But it's an
Yeah.
advanced class.
隠し職業。
It's a hidden class.
Oh.
The allure.
特殊な力があるってことなのか。
Well, why not?
何か見本のようなものがあれば。召喚魔法。そうだ、この魔法使いが使っていた召喚魔法。
You basically did
他者
have
を
an
刺激する
example.
という意味で転職とか言って選択肢があるように見せて仕組まれてたってことか。システムの仕業か。だが面白い。ネクロマンサーが前線で戦ってはいけないという。
Yeah, pave your own
There
path.
we go.
職業もステータス
You're a
も
maverick, Jinwoo.
レベルアップとともにスキル同様に強化されるはず。つまり俺だけがレベルアップするんじゃなくなる。
Change the name of the show.
いいだろう。
Good. The title of Necromancer is just too cool to say no to.
I don't know. It's interesting that he declined at first, but upon hearing that it was a hidden class, you know?
夜が明けてきた。
Like, you might never have access to it ever again.
そろそろ到着する頃かと思われる。
Should have, but what was in the water?
いえ、ついでと言ってはなんだが、少し私の話に付き合ってくれないか。
You have not used the teleportation stone. Bonus points. Oh my god! The class
Exceeded the
threshold.
class threshold.
We like triple ranked up.
Shadow Monarch.
いきなり二次転職。報酬が届いたということはクエストは終わった。これで転職できたのか。悲鳴のようなものが聞こえてくる。まるで普通を訴えているかのようだ。命令語設定。起きろ。
Arise. What a word choice. I'm glad he didn't do something silly.
これはすげえ。専用スキル影の抽出と影の保管。
Storage.
マナを吸い取って影の兵士にするスキルと抽出した相手を保管していつでも出し入れできるスキル。
What?
死亡後の経過時間や強さによっては抽出が失敗するっていうのは気をつけた方が良さそうだ。
It can fail.
ナイト以外に魔法使いもそれにこいつらは等級もあるんだな。
Whoa.
もし A 級や S 級の影が抽出できてその強さが生きていた時の強さに影響されるのなら
Please, 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 please. Please.
No shot.
Is possible, but it could
抽
fail.
出と保管には上限数があるらしいから歩兵11体を抽出解除。
Make room.
騎士団長高血のイグレットこいつを従えることができたなら起きろ。
Damn
Failed.
it.
さっき書いてあったことか。あと2回。
Is there anything we can do to boost our chances?
Nat 20.
起きろ。
It's literally a dice roll.
だから体術を鍛える。仲間を集める。
Gather allies.
王の帰りを待っているのか。いつ戻るかもわからない王。あんたは無人だ。
Oh, we're giving him a speech. We're giving his dead body a speech. Wake up.
剣を捧げる相手が必要だというなら俺に使え。
Arise.
いなくなった野郎の椅子なんか守ってないで目の前にいる俺を守ってくれ。
Oh my god.
起きろ。
If a speech doesn't work, then I don't know what would.
だがね、私は時に無双するのだ。
Holy shit. You may
You can give
bestow
him
a
a name.
name?
What level was he? Like 7?
Jinho 2. Jinho Jr.
イグリット。
Good. Let him keep his name. I like that.
その中に我々の の想像を超える新たな希望の光となるような力を持つ者が、この瞬間にも生まれているのではないか。
Could be born right at this moment.
よろしく頼む。
What a
No!
development! What a development!
I wanted to see what was happening on Jeju Island.
It's too big. It's too big of a thing. Especially now that we, like, the last thing we saw was that there was something in the water, like, Mana detected. Too big. It would have been a 45-minute episode. Or longer. Which is okay. You can do that.
I had to kind of look. This might be a bad opinion, you know, a too far gone opinion. I don't love the title Necromancer. Like, I never really have. But
Really?
Shadow Monarch,
It's-
Jesus Christ! It's like you double ranked up. It's like, okay, fine. I guess I'll accept the class rank. Like, like immediately rank out of it. It's crazy.
There's so many people out there as players that would have chosen, like, such a silly word for whatever the command was gonna be for the extraction. And even a silly name for the knight.
Yeah.
Jinwoo cares too much about looking cool.
He doesn't care about looking cool. He's just being cool.
これは一体。
わかりません。僕の知る限りこんなものはなかったはずです。進化している。
They can leave the
Wings.
island. They would be able to leave the island.
Oh my god. Okay, that was Solo Leveling, episode 12 of season 1. That's not good.
Oh, so we're gonna go for the after credit. Is
Yeah.
what we're gonna go for, because that's where I kind of wanted to go.
So, thank God we wanted to do this reconnaissance mission.
Right.
So we have at least somewhat of a leg up or an idea of the impending doom that might be coming our way. But it doesn't sound like anywhere else in the world has been reached yet in terms of flight by anything on Jeju Island.
Well, just the fact that it's been left alone for as long as it has, and they've gotten to that point of evolution, that there even is the fact that they could evolve. I mean, if they're sprouting wings and able to fly, then it's only a matter of time before they're able to get somewhere else. It's an island, sure, but actually how far away from another island or a coastline to a mainland is it?
That's a great question.
That's a terrifying prospect, and honestly, I don't think you'll need to work very hard to sway public opinion about any further missions to Jeju Island if they knew about this. Not that we're going to tell the public, because that might cause, like, mass panic, but I think you'll get approval from whoever you need to bring whoever you need here. And it might, honestly, it might get in the way of Jinho's brother, you know, getting people recruited, because everyone that is of a rank, a certain hunter rank, is going to be necessary to deal with Jeju Island.
I wonder what it is about Jeju Island and them just being there for a longer period of time that has led them to evolve, right? Like, is a key factor in their evolution them being, like, out of a gate on planet Earth for, like, is that them being on Earth, does that expedite their evolution?
Does it give them almost the same, like a role? Once they enter Earth's plane and they exist here, do some of the rules of our own world then apply to them as rules of their world apply to us when we enter into their space?
They're almost evolving in a different world in a similar way to how Jinwoo is evolving in a different world.
They're leveling up. Yeah, okay.
That's a terrifying prospect.
I was not, okay, so when we were like, oh, from the water I'm detecting something, I was picturing that there was something other than the ants, and it was within the actual water, like a Nessie situation, a Kraken, something like that, you know? I was not picturing that the ants were going to start sprouting wings and flying. What a great development.
Yeah, I was in the same boat as you. I was thinking that it was something under them that was in the water, but upon seeing it, I was like, wait, are they looking at their own helicopter from a satellite?
It did look like
it looks so tiny, and it was so tiny, and there you go.
Tiny, but mighty because it comes in massive numbers.
Yeah, and especially, it's like, Yeah, it's not just evolving, but what's evolving. Not just any gate. It's the gate at Jeju Island. It is the literal cream of the crop of strength, and that is horrifying.
Huh. And ants often have a queen. You know, there's often a hierarchy, and all those, I believe they're like whitish in color. The ants that are on Jeju that seem to be the queens.
Hmm.
Uh, he has his own army now too, and so that's what we're seeing. Is that inevitably it's gonna have to be a battle against army versus army.
Yeah. I wonder, it was probably a throwaway, but you know how Jinna was like, oh, what was that weird dream? Like, but when she woke up and then saw that Jinwoo wasn't home yet,
Hmm.
think there was anything there? You think that she's gonna have an awakening or some shit?
If she did, okay, yeah, if she did, I don't think she'd do anything with it.
Yeah.
She has already kind of told us like what she does want to do, and obviously, granted, that's with the fact that she hasn't awakened. And if she did awaken, that could definitely change what it is that she wants to accomplish in life and how she wants to make money, what jobs she wants to have. But she doesn't really strike me as a character that would ever actually be interested in being a hunter and in this world.
Yeah, but then if you're bestowed power, you know, maybe your aspirations could change.
It's true. How much has this experience changed in Wu? You know what I mean? Like,
Let's fucking talk about it, dude.
I feel like that's a great segue into
His knuckles were torn to shreds, and it was brutal to watch. But upon hearing voices of others, but most importantly, the voice of himself,
of himself.
that, like, visually, the looks that past Jinwoo was giving present Jinwoo were terrifying. They were horrifying.
Mm-hmm.
And what was your reaction to it? What was your, initial, like, you're gonna get yourself killed? Like, why am I hearing this right now?
Okay, yeah, why am I hearing this right now? It's not just a mage's illusion, you know, because we get to the point where the mages were obviously creating, like, summoning powers to create the army of knights. So why was he hearing that right now? I mean, trauma can come in at times that you don't want it to, where you're like, this is really inconvenient for me right now to be experiencing these visions and thoughts. But yeah, why right now? I mean, he's on the cusp of obtaining something that is seemingly, the system almost makes me feel from this episode like this is something, a peak that is surprising, that he's exceeded expectations. That's a line that is said within this episode, and I think that it can apply here, that he is able to get all these bonus awards from all of the other things that he's done within this dungeon, if you will, like not using the teleportation stone, this
Mhm.
and that. He keeps racking up all of these extra bonus awards.
But is he being set up to get these bonus rewards? You know what I mean? Is like the entire idea of this quest been, built up from the bottom to the top in a way that it will seem natural to Jinwoo, but it's actually just the system, like, honing us in a very specific lane.
Are we basically battling with real Jinwoo versus the Jinwoo that is the player, that is kind of being used by the system and views himself as using it back, but maybe it's more so tilted on the side of the system getting what it wants?
Yeah,
There's a line of, hasn't your growth been enough? That's what the underdeveloped, the younger looking Jinwoo, which is really the one we start with, it says to him, like, hasn't your growth been enough?
It's really interesting because after we're, like, notified that we are being penalized and we are going to be taken to the penalization zone, we get another look at, like, the OG Jinwoo, and he says it seems they don't want you to die just yet. And I was like, ooh, really interesting choice that we get, like, one last line from that. And then in present Jinwoo, once we're there, he's like, nice timing, that penalty saved my life. And then he recounts the good luck that was given to him by
and
the
he tries
system.
to read it. Like, what did they mean by that? Because it was so hard, or because the system wants me to survive and is cheering me on?
And again, once again, if that's the case, why would it want you to survive? Like, ulterior motives, you know?
Right. And also ulterior motives of, why do we want the player, as we all know, as Jinwoo even says, his stats are not built for the job class that they're trying to give
Of
to him
Necromancer.
here. Of Necromancer. And it says analysis complete. This is what we're offering to you. And they even, normally if you say no to something, if it's a huge decision, the menu will pop up. Are you sure you want to say no to this? But they're really like, this is a hidden class, like this is special. But they use, like, instead of are you sure, they're enticing him further.
Yeah.
It's almost like a manipulation tactic to be like, this is a hidden class. Like, you'd never be able to find this again, or it'd be exceedingly hard to. And it really gets his mind going. Like, why do they want me to have this? It seems very purposeful that they want him to have the Necromancer class. And why is that?
So we aren't given the word Necromancer until a little bit after we're given other dialogue
the
notifications.
Explanation of what it is.
Which I think is really interesting and kind of like out of character. I would have almost expected to see a title and then a description of what it is. I'm getting a class based on my performance during the quest. So I don't get to choose. Analysis complete. Wherever the player goes, the Angel of Death follows. That's so fascinating.
It totally fits with what the monsters within this dungeon represent, with the fact of revisiting his past battles, but mainly the ones where he killed humans.
Whatever path the player takes, it is littered with corpses, and the stench of blood remains. Imagine reading that from your HUD.
And you're like no, I don't want that.
What's that mean? In addition, the player craves great power and blazed his own trail without relying on others. That's a really weird wording as well, because the blazed his own trail without relying on others is past tense. That has already happened, but like, are we trying to apply that to the first part of the sentence too? Are we like summarizing how we got to this notification, or are we saying and suggesting that the role of being a necromancer and then therefore a shadow monarch would bestow characteristic traits to you and make you as a person inherently crave greater power?
I think it's saying that you are this is our analysis, and this is why we gave you this.
Okay.
The thirst for strength calls forth the ghost. So I feel like reading this, there's probably parts of him that feel like almost maybe even a little disgusted for kind of his craving of power to be described in such a way.
Yeah.
You know, the idea of the littered corpses behind him. But it is what we've seen. We've seen a continuous greed for more and more. Like the idea of the line, hasn't your growth been enough? No, we've seen that it hasn't been enough, and he wants more. So this is kind of like throwing the truth into his face in a way that could be slightly uncomfortable, even if you can note to yourself that it is true what you're reading on the screen.
But it's also like calling back to right before we are saved, or we did escape, what ghosts were talking to us in the room. The ghosts of our past self, even, just to turn it and flip it on its head and say that its thirst for strength calls forth the ghosts that roam the valley of death.
It's because he was strong that he was then seeing himself.
The ghosts summoned by the Shadow Army will follow the player's orders as the Shadow Army and make way only for the player. Shadow Army. Also, this takes place before our title change, right? This is just the class of Necromancer. What's to come after that we haven't read yet.
Right.
Which is insane.
And obviously he reads Necromancer, and if he has any game knowledge, he's obviously like, wait.
Back line that doesn't really apply.
That has nothing to do with me.
And then upon declining it, I'm like, okay, I get it. But then it's like, notification, Necromancer is a hidden class. Will you still decline? And that's the thing that really pushes him over in his decision. And I'm not gonna lie, I think I do the same exact thing.
I think I would have said yes in the beginning.
I would have said no for I think the same exact reasons. Like, my skills don't apply. But then it really feels like, instead of like a system being AI and automatic being like, are you sure you don't want to? They add in other language, which is, this is a hidden class. It's more incentive. Are you sure? Like, I
think it really comes down into the way they word it is so much different than the normal message you would get in a game that is like, are you sure?
Yeah.
You can't go back to this. It feels, it's maybe because it's worded it's saying the same thing, but it's worded differently. That makes it feel like someone other than like, yeah, the
They're
AI
leading you.
computer is talking. They're leading you, yeah.
In other words, I won't be solo leveling anymore. Love it to death. All right, then. Yes. This was such a cool situation. Okay, so we obviously leave the scene here right after he agrees, and then we come back to it. But the entire, like, if he wasn't the person who forgot to do his daily quest, and for some reason the system glitched out, he did do the daily quest, and then it like canceled out and said that he didn't, and then things happened the way that they did, I'd be like, this whole thing has been set up by the system so that he was able to get where he was, be able to level up so that he could heal after he was in the penalty zone, just so he could go back, just so he could defeat them without using all of these different things and then get rewarded and level up for it immediately.
Right, like, yeah, I think that the question is, okay, you bring it up. Well, if it is luck, I guess, because he just happened to not do his dailies. But you also presented him with an exciting quest that he was so ready to get in the car to go do.
Yeah.
So the system would know this person craves power.
Yeah.
You literally are, and strength, and you're saying that within this little dialogue before he gets the idea of the job change and what it would be. He will go right for this quest, this idea of further strength, because even as he's getting there, before he gets there, his idea of what this quest is that because it's different than the penalty, and because it's different than an emergency quest, it has to involve major rewards here. And so he's of course going to immediately want to go. But also, we don't know what time currently actually is. Jinwoo has no sense of the actual time outside of this plane.
Mm-hmm.
This system could have fudged it if they truly wanted to let him do this. If they want him to survive. Because I wrote down last episode, like, really was the system... like, we've heard the line before, the system wants to keep him alive, it wants him strong. But, like, would the system really save him?
No, I don't. Well, that's something we don't know, right? That's what Jimmy was asking himself. But like, I think I want to continue reading before we talk more about it, because it goes into like, if there is intention behind the system, what are we making Jinwoo's build like specifically? So you have exceeded the expected survival time. Bonus points will be awarded. Again, like, if things didn't go the way that they did, we would not get the 4 times bonus points that we are about to be rewarded, right? Mm-hmm. We're circling around Jinwoo. You've not used the teleportation stone. If that one night didn't knock it out of our hand, we wouldn't be getting bonus points for this. Leftover HP. Bonus points are going to be rewarded. You defeated all the enemies. Bonus points. Your total advancement points have exceeded the class threshold. Like, he did not have to be a necromancer very long. You know? If necromancer's a hidden class, what does that make Shadow Monarch? You know, imagine like if only 10% or 3% of the subset of people could even be given necromancer. What are the odds that somebody given necromancer could be so honed in and talented,
reach the threshold,
that they could reach yeah, exactly. Like, at this point, where the fuck are we in comparison to everybody else?
Right, and that opens the question: is there actually anybody else?
Yeah.
This episode made me think kind of more than ever that there were others, because of the fact that he's exceeding expectations. Is he exceeding expectations based on your own analysis of how different groups of people would handle certain situations and how they would survive and how their craving power would then help them make the decisions that they inevitably make? Is it just an analysis, or do you actually have other real life examples? And is he really exceeding actual expectations based on other people that you've offered this opportunity to? And this episode did make me feel like there was a chance that there are other players, as there are other hunters, and he is, as the chairman was saying, there is someone that could be born right at this moment that will defy all of our expectations. Is Jinwoo really that, both for the hunters and for the idea of players for the system? Yeah.
Obviously, it's never going to be, like, off the table for me that there could be others unless we're explicitly told otherwise. But at the moment, I'm just feeling like 100% Jinwoo right now.
I don't imagine we'd ever, like, check in with anyone else if there was. And I could also see there being a world where there wasn't anyone else.
Shadow extraction. please designate a command word for the skill. What would
Yep.
you use? Would you use Arise?
I like the idea of like rise, like you're telling them to stand up. I do like that. I think it fits both what you're asking them to do and it doesn't sound super silly.
Mm-hmm.
Like you're not gonna be like hamburger, you
Yeah.
know, and then they all stand up. Like I think his word choice is pretty on point, and if I got to sit with it a little bit, I would probably choose something similar. Probably not that exact word. I probably wouldn't have thought of that exact word.
So if my army, it depends on if it's going to be seen by other people or not. Like, will Jinho be able to see this army if I choose to have it be? If he can't, I might choose a word that is a little more inconspicuous than Arise, like in more casual. I could like hide it in a conversation.
But it can't be something that you would just say otherwise. Like it can't be like cool. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
the word cool, because like
Like,
you might use that in other.
what if our
situations.
sister like oversleeps and we're like, "Yo, Arise," and then a shadow army appears and then kills her, you know?
See, yeah. I mean, it's good that he probably doesn't use that word normally, right?
Yeah, okay. Skills. Job. Exclusive skill. Shadow extraction. Level 1. Extracts mana from a body whose life has come to an end and transforms it into a shadow soldier.
Who could we do this to? I feel like before we leave this skill, the question of who can we do this to? Because we
Igris. Like,
obviously,
yeah.
yes, but I mean down the line, because we have, yes, a certain number at the end, but that doesn't mean that the level 1s can't be defeated. Some of the ones that we have in our inventory could be defeated in the future, therefore we'd want to keep our storage full.
Yeah.
And that's what the next thing is the next skill we were given, job exclusive, is shadow storage level 1, and takes no mana, shadow stored up to 20.
And then
you can have
for
up to 20.
active shadow extractions, it's 30 for 30, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like what? We're gonna go back to Teshk's body and extract it as a...
Oh yeah, what does that mean? If you can have 30 active, well, can't you upgrade your storage?
Well, it depends on the level, I'm assuming.
Yeah, so I feel
But
like if the level goes up, then you could be able to get 30 in there.
I think that's also like, if you have active shadows, right? We have to rebalance it before we're able to even... before we even want to extract a shadow. So I think that...
Oh, that's why we get rid... Okay, yeah, that's so fair.
But I wonder, like, to answer your question, like, is there anybody else? I don't imagine...
Other monsters, the ants.
I don't
people.
imagine there's anything that we've fought already that we'd go back to get.
I don't think so either. I just more meant, like, in the future. I think it was more of, like, a very morbid, dark thought.
Yeah,
that very much goes with Necromancer. The idea is that it would be a human body, a controlling of, especially once he is realizing what this is, before he extracts, he starts to hear like these pained moans coming from the suits of armor, and it definitely makes me wonder, like, is there a possibility of utilizing a very strong human opponent in the future, almost like a puppet master?
Yeah, like, there's two different routes to go down, right? Like, we can go down the route of it being just like a shadow soul and based off of how strong it is. Say we do kill Dungso and that battle does happen.
He's who I was
and
thinking of.
we extract him and it's just like the shadow of what he'd be like and how strong and capable he could be. Or it's like somebody that's on our side, one of our friends is about to die and we can't save them. Would you take the risk in extracting them in hopes that like part of their personality would survive, or does that condemn them to like a life of soulless servitude?
That's
you know?
why it's a morbid thought process, because he doesn't know everything.
Yeah.
He does not know, would this actually be somewhat how the mages were creating an illusion with the summoning magic, and the suits of armor were just kind of replicating similarities to his past circumstances? Is it that they would just be just almost like a shadow of what was that person, and not necessarily actually the soul of that person, kind of condemned to servitude? Yeah, he wouldn't know for sure until he, I guess, tries it, and then he wouldn't know for sure anyway, because it's not like he's gonna visit the afterlife and see if he actually, unless the system also tells him. But would you believe it?
Yeah.
If the system was like, oh, don't worry, you're not actually capturing your friend's soul here, I don't know if I would truly believe that, and I don't think I could do that to someone that I cared about.
Yeah.
But I could do that to someone I didn't get out.
If you need someone to whom you can dedicate your sword, serve me. I love that it wasn't like a first attempt thing.
Mhm.
You know, it was something that required more motivation and action on the other soul's end.
What got him to think of the idea of just talking to Igris?
I don't know.
What gave him that like feeling that he was on his last attempt?
It's to show me Jinwoo, even though that we've been through a lot of shit and you could easily lose a lot of your humanity. You haven't to a certain point, because not only are you going to talk to this person as if they are actively hearing you and are being convinced, but you have the opportunity to rename a knight and you're going to give them their own name back. That's
there's a lot of respect
humanity
there. I wonder if the pained groans he was hearing from the like level 1 suits of armor, if that gave him the feeling like there was something that could be communicated with there.
Yeah, I'll say, I don't know if I've watched anything that the main character or protagonist in like a positive light was able to utilize like or be a necromancer or utilize souls like this and have like a dark army come forth. And I am so curious and bewildered to see how that will actually manifest within the show. I can't imagine it. Can we use it to like train ourselves with them?
So
like, can
in
we
the
all...
OP, isn't he fighting like suits of armor or something?
Yeah, but that could have just...
I'm just wondering, like in my mind, I'm like, now is like, was that him like practicing?
Could you like go into a hyperbolic time chamber with these with these, and could you all level up by training and fighting each other?
Can your shadow army level up?
Yeah.
If they're level 1 and then Igris is level 7, are we able to keep him with us? Because I kind of don't want to lose him. I'm actually like, thank God we got to keep him in some way. Thank God this was like slightly creature collector and we can keep him because he was so cool.
My last thing that I have is just, I hate myself for not guessing what Roller's hand would be. That was so obvious in hindsight, and it's so cool, and I love it. It's a great ability. I just feel like such a failure for not being able to even suggest it last episode. I'm better than that.
I forgive you for not thinking of it.
I'll never forgive myself. You have anything else?
No, I'm good.
Thank you guys so much for watching this video. Please like, comment, and subscribe, and hope to see you next time.